Hi guys, my name is Francie and I'm here to share a really heart-centered practice. This journey is going to be all about getting towards the heart space and allowing ourselves to create a little bit more expansion there, allowing ourselves to be able to hold everything that we're experiencing at this moment with all of the fear and anxiety, hold all of that with a little bit more compassion and kindness. So with that, let's go ahead and get started by coming to laying down on our back. And once we come to laying down on our back, allowing yourself to bend into your knees. And once you bend into your knees, notice here, if you want to go ahead and reach the arms overhead and grab the arms overhead, the hands overhead, or maybe even grab opposite elbow. Noticing what feels best for you today and observing that we're trying to find more space in our chest, allowing ourselves to soften the muscles of our face for a moment, relaxing that, and noticing the back of your heart feel fully supported by the earth below you. With your knees separated the distance of your hips, keep your feet the distance of your hips as well, and then slowly start to let your knees go side to side. Once you start to move your knees side to side, instead of bringing your feet together, let yourself keep your feet separated, and as you move, let yourself become more curious. Let yourself investigate more what it feels like to have your arms up overhead. Notice yourself fully supported by the earth below you. And beginning to notice the breath here as it flows within your body. As you move slowly, allow yourself to also investigate and notice the parts of your body that hold tension. Each of our emotions have a physiological response within our body. So with everything, maybe you notice how wonderful it feels to finally have your arms up overhead, or how wonderful it feels to stretch the hip flexors as you let the knees slowly drop side to side. And now go ahead and allow your knees to stay over towards the right. Keeping your knees over towards the right, now go ahead and goalpost your arms. Let your gaze go towards your left shoulder. Noticing that you're allowing your right hip to feel a nice massage by the earth below you. Also observing as you look towards your left shoulder, you're still trying to feel spaciousness there. And now can you draw in the breath and notice it start from your pelvic floor. And then notice how it moves through your spine, all the way up to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, make sure that you're trying to keep the feet separated so that you can notice the stretch in that front left hip flexor. And maybe letting yourself settle in here for a few breaths. Maybe you started to deepen your breath already. But notice moments by moments, continuously releasing any storylines, so that you can take yourself deeper into your core, your center. And then with your next exhale, back to center and over towards the opposite direction. Moving slowly, being mindful that through the transitions, we also are still practicing yoga. Our transitions are just as important as the final posture. So let yourself notice that you move a little bit slower throughout this practice today. Let yourself savor the transitions. Be with that process instead of trying to rush through everything. Noticing here what it feels like to massage that left hip flexor. Left hip. And notice that right hip flexor starting to decompress. As you gaze towards your right shoulder, also trying to feel softness in the right side of your neck. And let yourself notice how it feels to massage that front part of the body on the right side. Notice the breath there. One more nice long inhale. And deeply exhale. Coming back to center, now we'll go ahead and cultivate that deep rhythmic inhale and exhale. So bringing your knees into your chest, give your knees a nice big hug. And exhale all the air, lips open. Moving slowly side to side, allowing yourself to notice how wonderful it feels to massage your low back. Staying with that slow inhale and exhale that's comfortable for you today. And then from there, notice which side of your nose is more open right now. So notice if your left nostril or your right nostril. And then let yourself roll onto the side that's more open into a fetal position. So if your left nostril feels more open, then rolling onto your left side. If your right nostril feels more open, coming towards your right side. And staying here in your fetal position, noticing that you're still deepening your inhales and exhales. Take your time coming up into a comfortable seated position. And once you find your way into your comfortable seated position facing the front of your mats, go ahead and grab your stack of books here. If you notice that your knees are way up higher than your hip creases. So if your crease of your hips is lower than your knees, you're going to just grab the stack of books so that you can find that your knees can drop a little bit more. If you don't have that issue, then go ahead and find yourself in a cross-legged comfortable seated position. And once you find your cross-legged comfortable seated position, instead of coming into lotus or half lotus, just bring both ankles onto the floor and try to roll onto the top parts of your ankles and your shins. That way you feel a deeper external rotation through the hips. And then placing your hands onto your knees, go ahead and start to make little circles, starting from the base of your spine. And remember, the transitions are important. So we're starting to deepen our inhales and exhales. We're starting to allow ourselves to notice the full length of the inhale and exhale. So can you move with the breath? So as you go forward, you exhale. And as you come back, you inhale. Move slowly. Exhale to come forward. Inhale to come back. Going a little bit wider with your circles now. Try to bring yourself towards the knees and all the way towards the front so you can feel the stretch all throughout the low back, and inhale to come back to center. A few more times, rolling through the base of the spine, trying to decompress that low back, and noticing that we're moving slowly because we're trying to become so much more aware of transitions and being okay with moving little by little, appreciating the present moments, and then slowly starting to go in the opposite direction. So little circles first, and then noticing here. Can you notice your pelvic floor rooting you down? Noticing your pelvic floor rooting you down and lifting up your spine, lengthening. creating space where you feel you have no space. And now start deepening your circles, allowing yourself to notice that your breath is guiding your movements. So we're deeply inhaling to come to center, and exhale to roll forward. Investigate where you notice tension and let yourself be with your breath in those places. And then letting yourself come back to center. Once you come back to center, find yourself moving and shifting your weight forth and back. And then from there, balance, center. With your eyes closed here, establish that deep resonant breath if you haven't done so already. So noticing a nice long inhale. Exhaling the back of the throat like you're fogging up a mirror with your lips closed. If it feels challenging to do this, then letting yourself notice that you can go ahead and open your lips for the first few rounds. So you'll deeply inhale and then open the lips. Stay with that rhythmic breath, inhaling. Maybe open the lips one more time. It's okay to find that sound. We are actually looking for that beautiful ocean sound in the back of the throat because that's allowing you to feel more relaxation throughout your body. So stay with that rhythmic inhale and exhale and making sure that you're only trying to lengthen the breath to the capacity that you're at today. With everything going on right now, will be a little bit shorter, and that's completely fine. What we're looking to do is find a comfortable pace, a comfortable rhythm of breath, and finding that beautiful ocean sound in the back of the throats. Now go ahead and feel yourself at your heart space. Can you notice the breath as at the top of your inhale? Notice how the heart feels nice and lifted. And as you exhale, can you try to feel that open heart even as you exhale? Noticing your root connection at the very bottom of your exhale. 2 more like that. Slowly inhaling, noticing your heart lift all the way at the top of your inhale. And exhale, feeling your pelvic floor completely connected at the end of your exhale, and still noticing if you feel that open heart at the bottom of your exhale. And then from there, we're going to start to move the shoulders up and down, actually up and back. But I want, instead of lifting the shoulders all the way to the ear right away, we're trying to be more mindful of where we are in our journey today. We're trying to be more mindful of the transitions. So let yourself notice that when we first start, you're not taking it all the way to your deepest expression of this form. Maybe noticing here as you inhale, just notice the shoulders begin to lift. And as you exhale, send your shoulders back and down the spine. And then maybe you'll also notice as you inhale, you'll lift your shoulders, but you'll also feel your heart lifting, feel your chest rise. And then exhale, send your shoulders back and down. A few more times like this, starting to open up the movements. Inhale, feel your shoulders and heart lift. And then send your shoulders back and down. Continue to move with the breath. Inhale, slowly feel your shoulders lift. Lift your chest. Shoulders back and down on the exhale. Are you letting yourself move slower, Or are you already rushing through this? Notice where you're holding tension in the body and let yourself be. Let yourself open with compassion from your heart space. Send your breath to those places. 3 more. Slowly moving the shoulders up as you inhale. Exhale back and down with the shoulders. 2 more. Inhale. And maybe you only take little baby lifts with the shoulders, and that's okay. Exhale back and down. 1 more. Slowly. Back and down with your exhale. And now let's reverse it. So we're going to take the shoulders back and up as we inhale. And then forward and down as we exhale. Remembering what we did at the very beginning, noticing that you're slowly making little baby circles so that we're very mindful, so that we notice if there's a little bit of a pinch. We don't move into that part with so much zest. We let ourselves find the movement slowly and let our breath be our guide. I'm here to give you suggestions so that you can cultivate that inner teacher. So move with the breath. Inhale, lift the shoulders back and up. And as you exhale, forward and down. Inhale, back, up. Exhale, forward, down. 3 more, slowly. And then allowing the hands to relax back down by the side, by the knees now. Go ahead and now bring your right shoulder to the right ear. And notice your awareness glide all throughout the left side of your neck. So maybe even let your awareness slide up and down a few times. It's really curious how when we take our awareness together with our breathing through certain parts of our body, we begin to even sensitize the body. So notice that you can just stay here and breathe. Feel your breath glide from your left shoulder to the left ear and exhale back down to the left shoulder. So going like that a few times. And then come back to center. And then slowly, ooh, nice crack. Left shoulder, left ear. And notice all of that space. Notice all of that connective tissue that's releasing. Because we're staying with that stillness, we can pay attention. We can let our awareness glide through that part of the body, letting ourselves notice where we're holding tension. Letting yourself experience any subtle shifts that your body needs, because we don't want to stay in any one posture if we notice that we have a pinch somewhere. So please be mindful that because I'm not there with you, you have to be more aware of what your body is telling you. So no pinched nerves, no tingling sensations are okay. Make sure that you're paying attention to deepen the exhales. One more nice long inhale, right shoulder awareness to the awareness sliding up to the right ear. And exhale back down to the right shoulder. Inhale, come to center. So this is a heart-centered practice. We're going to go ahead and make sure that throughout the entire practice, we're trying to find that expansive inhale. So the breath is a really beautiful anchor to our practice. Letting yourself notice that at the top of the inhale, you should actually notice a lifting of your heart space. So from here, notice your pelvic floor grounding you down. Notice yourself creating roots through your pelvic floor, through your sitting bones. Feel yourself really grounding. And then from there, try to feel your ribs lifting up towards the sky. And also noticing your inhale, feel that heart lift. Now go ahead with this lift through your rib cage. Now start to slowly tuck your chin down, pulling your shoulders back behind you. Allow yourself to start stretching the back of your neck. Breathe into the back of your neck. One more nice long inhale. Deeply exhale. Inhale, coming back to center. Now, instead of just dropping our head back and crunching into our cervical spine, I want you guys to learn to massage yourself slightly. So generally in Savasana, sometimes I assist people by pulling from the base of their hairline, the back of their skull. So I want you guys to try to find a little bit of that now as well. So keeping that open chest, keeping the rib cage lifted, now find your fingertips at the very end of your hairline. And then go ahead and on the inhale, try to feel as if you're pulling your head away from your spine. Lifting up the chest, breathe into that separation there from the base of your hairline to your neck. Lifting your chest, one more nice little inhale. Slowly exhale and release the hands. We're going to make some space between our ribs now. So if you're starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable with your legs, go ahead and let yourself switch, or maybe go ahead and even find the blanket underneath your ankles. But find your center once again, and once you find that center, you're going to go ahead and reach the right fingertips down beside you. And with the right fingertips down beside you, inhale, feel the left arm pull straight up over the shoulder. We're going to start here, because I want to make sure that when you reach that left arm over, you're going to still try to maintain as much space as possible from your left shoulder to your left ear. So from there, start to notice your left sitting bone grounding you down. With your left sitting bone grounding you down, keep yourself anchored there and slowly start to reach that left arm over a little bit more. Breathe from that left hip all the way through your left fingertips. Keeping your right hand down beside you, space from your shoulders to your ears. Maybe you want to take it a little bit further and you come onto your forearm. But can you notice here that you're trying to keep that left sitting bone grounded down onto your mat? Breathe. Nice long inhales and exhales to that left side body. One more nice long inhale. Deeply exhale. Inhale, coming back to center. Reset. Let yourself round up the shoulders back a little bit, little circles. And then once again, back forth. Set your left fingertips down by your side, and with your left fingertips down by your side, first inhale to reach the right arm directly up over the right shoulder. Notice that we're trying to plug our right sitting bone down into the mat, and then eventually start to bend into that left elbow and reach the right arm over. Create that space there on the right side body. Feel your right fingertips pulling up and over your head. Breathe. Nice long inhales and exhales to that right side body. Then maybe you come down a little bit onto that left forearm and try to press that right sitting bone down into the mat. Breathe there. Maybe you gaze up. Can you feel the line of energy from the right hip through the right fingertips? Exhale slowly and inhale. Come back to center. From there, lift the shoulders, send them back. On an inhale from your heart space, Notice your heart, expand your arms out to the side. So first, ground down through the sitting bones, lift the ribs away from the pelvic floor, and inhale, extend the arms out to the side. Feel the breath start from your heart space and feel that energy move out through the fingertips. Can you let yourself create space by becoming aware of the energy through your fingertips? Expand the fingers. One more nice long inhale from the heart. And as you exhale, give yourself a nice big hug, bringing your right arm over your left one. As you bring your right arm over the left, giving yourself a nice big hug. Notice what it feels like to be held in your own arms. Give yourself a moment of compassion and kindness. Breathing between the shoulder blades. Nice long inhale in the back of the heart. Exhale. We're going to start to move into eagle arms. So first, just start to bring your forearms up a little bit. And if you can't hook, that's okay. Just try to feel your elbows pulling away from your hearts. At the same time, trying to hook into each other more so you can try to separate the shoulder blades a little bit more. So stay here if this is as far as you can go, or maybe see if you can interlace your hands. And from there, breathe a nice long inhale between the shoulder blades. And now lift the elbows up. Send your rib cage away from the pelvic floor. Lift the ribs. Exhale, slowly come back to center. And slowly from there, inhale from the heart. Reach the arms away from each other. Exhale, this time hug yourself with the left arm over the right arm. Noticing what it feels like once again. Being there for yourself. Can you give yourself permission to do that? Let yourself notice what it feels like to be held in your own compassionate awareness. And then slowly from there, starting to hook the elbows, preparing for eagle arms. So if this is all you can do for your eagle arms, then let yourself be here, noticing the space between the shoulder blades, trying to find that space behind the heart. Breathing into that. If you can, go ahead and start to interlace your hands, your arms. Nice long inhale between the shoulder blades. And then from there, start to send the elbows away from the heart and lift the elbows. Slowly exhale back to center and inhale, reach the arms from the heart space. Extend, extend, extend. Exhale, bringing the hands down. Go ahead and come to sitting onto the heels. And once you're sitting onto the heels, we're going to move into cat-cow from this position. So once you're sitting onto the heels, if you feel any knee pressure, don't stay in it. Let yourself come into cat-cow with your hands on your wrists. But from there, notice that you're trying to find space in the front part of your body as you inhale and reach your arms reach your arms back. And as you exhale, round through the spine, try to send your tailbone all the way under and reach your arms forward. Inhale, open the chest, send the tailbone back, let the head go back as you gaze up. Exhale, rounding through the spine, tucking the tailbone under. Be with the breath. Breath is guiding your movement here. Inhale, we open, gaze up. Exhale, we round through the spine. Let yourself massage your low back. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. And then from there, reaching the arms up overhead and letting yourself notice that you're starting to make circles with the arms, trying to move around the spine. We hold so much tension in our back and our spine. Can you let yourself decompress? Can you let yourself move? Noticing any organic movement that your body is craving here, but also noticing how awesome it feels to finally move the spine. Going in the opposite direction now. Are you allowing your breath to guide your movements? Are you letting yourself notice what it feels like to move open the ribs? Coming back to center, and then dropping the arms behind you, interlacing the fingers behind your back. Inhale, pull open the chest. Lift your heart space. Exhale, slowly release the fingers. Coming into your first child's pose. So once you come into your first child's pose, notice if you want to go ahead and separate the elbows away from each other. If you want to go ahead and reach the arms forward, or if you want to separate your knees a little bit wider than normal today. Listen to your body. We're going to drop into a nice rhythmic breath here for 10 cycles. So slow down the revolutions of the mind by anchoring your awareness in what it feels like to experience your breath. So if it's bothering your knees at all, let yourself find your blanket underneath your knees. 8 more slow rhythmic inhales and exhales. Noticing all of the opposing energies that are working here as you press the crown of the head forward, noticing your tailbone move back behind you. Can you feel more space in your low back? Five more. Feel your ribs separating with each inhale. Two. One more inhale. Hold it at your heart at the top of your inhale this time. Don't let the inhale go. Keep it there. Find your pulse. Notice the sensation at your heart. Open the lips. Release. And from there, allowing yourself to move into a Sphinx position. So from your Sphinx position, notice that you're also being more mindful of all of the opposing energies. So keeping your elbows directly under your toes. So instead of just letting your legs do whatever they want, you're creating space in your low back by sending your toes as far behind you as possible. And at the same time, without actually moving your forearms, once your elbows are under your shoulders, you're going to try to feel as if you're gripping onto the mat and sending your elbows behind you so you can pull your chest more open. Breathe there. 5 rhythmic inhales and exhales. 4, lift the heart. 3, 2, 1 more. Slowly come all the way back, child's pose. One more nice long inhale in child's pose. Gazing forward towards the top of your mat. On the inhale, keeping the arms straight, send your hips forward dog. So no need to lift the hips up. Inhale, feel your shoulders move back behind the heart, and exhale back to a child's pose. Move with your breath. Inhale, coming forward into an upward dog. And as you exhale, move into your child's pose. Your breath guides your movement. 3 more times. Inhaling back. Inhale forward. And exhale, move back. 2 more. Lift the heart at the top of your inhale. Staying with this last upward dog, refine the energy. Can you find your heart lifting just a little bit more? Engage the low belly upwards towards the heart. Send your toes actively away. And then from there, tucking your toes under, send your hips up into your first downward dog. So for this first downward dog, noticing if you want to bend into your knees. Always making sure that you're trying to keep the weight out of your shoulders by trying to get your armpits close to your tops of your thighs, but at the same time, not hyperextending from the armpit and not sending your armpits too close to the thighs and then crunching too much into the tops of your shoulders. So find that balance. You are your own best teacher. Please listen to your body and how it's feeling. So notice here that I'm trying to find, if you have tight hamstrings, that means that it's okay to bend into the knees. When you bend into the knees, that allows you to have a straight line from your wrists all the way to your hips. And you always want to look for that straight line from your wrist to your hips. From there, noticing that you're trying to hollow out the low belly, sending the low belly towards the ribs. And find your sitting bones, trying to pivot upwards towards the sky. So one more nice long inhale there. Deep exhale, and from there, slowly gazing forward towards the top of your mat and the very top of your mats. Inhale, open up the chest, halfway lift. Notice that the collarbone will extend and open. Your shoulders are nice and separated instead of rounding forward in your halfway lift. And exhale to fold, relaxing through the neck. Separating the feet the distance of your hips, and with your feet separated maybe just a little bit wider than the distance of your hips, we're going to go ahead and start to twist with one hand down and the other arm up. But I want you to make sure that instead, what I typically find in most practices when they're first beginning the twisting like this, that a lot of people try to send the arm up and they're not really trying to rotate from the base of their spine. So if you have tight hamstrings, grab your stack of books. That way you can lift up the spine a little bit more. And you're going to place your hands on the tips of your fingers onto the books. And notice that what I want to have that same length of my spine. And then that way my books are going to be at the center of my feet. And when I twist up, I'm trying to twist up from the very base of the spine. So on the exhale, bend into the right knee, and as you inhale, reach the left arm all the way up over the right arm. So notice here that I'm trying to stack the arms directly over each other, and that the twist is happening from the pelvic floor area. And exhale to bring the left hand down. Inhale, reach the right arm all the way up. Try to stack your ribs over one another. Exhale to bring the right hand down. Bend into the right knee. Inhale, reach the left arm all the way up. Go like that a few more times. If you don't need the stack of books, that's okay. Take them away. But trying to make sure that you're finding your shoulders in a safe space. Going side to side. Trying to open up through the heart space. Notice that the inhale is extending through the fingertips. Exhale to bring a hand down. Inhale to bring an arm up. Next time your right arm comes up, exhale, bring that right hand down and stay folded forward. So in this forward fold, grab opposite elbow. If you have tight hamstrings, then let yourself bring your elbows onto your knees and just drop the crown of the head here. Can you notice what it feels like to start sending that new blood towards your brain? Notice that new blood circulating around your heart space, allowing yourself to feel more energized. Breathe, allowing for a deeper awareness of how the breath moves through our body. And then from there, if you have your elbows, your opposite elbow, go ahead and release the opposite elbow and slowly roll up through the spine. Slow. Take your time. Take your time. Noticing the transitions are equally important. And once you come up into standing, when your inhale reaches your heart, reach the arms all the way up overhead. Lengthen your ribs away from your pelvic floor. Look up at your palms as your palms touch. And exhale to bring your hands together at heart center and close your eyes here. Before we move into our 3 sun salutations, let yourself notice what it feels like in your body now that you've been journeying inward through the breath. With your hands together at heart center, notice your deep rhythmic breath. If you've lost it, bring it back into your awareness. Can you notice with your hands together in front of your heart space, lifting your heart up towards the sky, bowing your head down slightly towards your heart, rooting down through the soles of your feet, activating the quadriceps, engaging the low belly. Can you lift up your heart and notice your awareness centered at your heart space? Ask your heart what it's been needing more of today. And allow yourself to cultivate that awareness. If nothing is coming up when you ask your heart, then don't overthink it. Just leave it. Continue just noticing how your body feels when you breathe. Beginning here with our 3 sun salutations, releasing the hands down by the side. Stay with your rhythmic breath. Your breathing is guiding your practice. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Lift your ribs away from the pelvic floor and exhale to forward fold. Relax the neck. Inhale, lengthen up your spine, open up the shoulders. Exhale to plant the hands down and step it back into a plank position. Arriving at your plank, engage the low belly, and on the exhale, if you need to come onto the knees for chaturanga, come onto the knees, bend the elbows directly behind you. Inhale, upward dog. Send your hips closer to your wrists. Lift up the heart and exhale, downward dog. 5 deep rhythmic inhales and exhales. 4, 3, if you're bending into the knees, then move slowly. 2, try to pivot your sitting bones higher. 1 more nice long inhale. Deep exhale. Gaze forward. Inhale to walk or float with the feet all the way forward and open the chest, halfway lift. Exhale and forward fold, relaxing the neck. Inhale to rise. Reach the arms all the way up from the heart space. Lift and exhale, Samastitihi, hands by the side. 2 more sun salutation A. Inhale, arms and ribs go up, lift the gaze up, exhale, and slowly with the breath, forward fold. Inhale to lengthen up your spine and open up the shoulders. Exhale to plant the hands down and step it back into a plank position. Take a nice long inhale at plank, and if you need to, come onto the knees, chaturanga. Bend the elbows directly behind you. Inhale, lift up the chest, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog for 5 rhythmic inhales and exhales. Slow down the exhalations. Try to find a calmness with your exhale. 3 more breaths, trying to notice the inhale. Start from the arches of your feet and notice how they move up through the legs. When your inhale reaches your tailbone, notice your exhale release from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. 1 more nice long inhale that way. Gaze forward. Inhale, walk or float the feet all the way forward. Opening up the chest, halfway lift, and exhale to forward fold, relaxing the neck. Inhale to rise, reaching the arms all the way up. Feel your heart, lift your arms up, gaze up. Exhale, Samastitihi, hands by the side. Salutation A, let this practice warm up your body. Inhale, move the arms, lift the chest up, gaze up. Exhale and fold, relaxing the neck. Inhale, open up through the spine. Exhale to plant the hands down and step it back into a plank position. Take a nice long inhale at your plank. Open up the body. Engage your low belly. Exhale, chaturanga. Keeping the low belly engaged. Inhale, upward dog. Open up the chest. Shoulders move back. Exhale, downward dog. 5 rhythmic inhales and exhales. 4. 3. 2. 1. Sitting bones go higher. 1. Gaze forward. Slowly step the feet forward. Open up the chest. Lengthen up your spine. Exhale and forward fold, relaxing the neck. Inhale to rise, reaching the arms all the way up. Lift it up. And exhale, Samastitihi, hands by the side. Bringing the hands onto the hips, step your feet hip distance apart. Once your feet are hip distance apart, inhale, open up. Send your pelvic floor down, lift up through the ribs, and exhale, forward fold. Planting your hands directly under your feet, Padahastasana. So if you have tight hamstrings, then bend into your knees, but you want your neck to completely relax. Finding yourself, instead of with locked arms, pull your elbows actively away from each other so you can find yourself creating more space in your lower back. 5 inhales and exhales, trying to create a little bit more space with every exhale. You're trying to straighten up through those legs. Breathe there. And then at the very last exhale, notice if you can bring your low belly a little bit more in towards the spine and up towards the heart. And from there, releasing the hands. Inhale, open up the chest, halfway lift. And exhale, planting the hands down, step it back, plank to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Open up the shoulders behind the heart space. And exhale, downward dog. Bringing the right foot all the way forward on the inhale. So notice the distance from one foot to the other. You want your right foot to be all the way where your hands were. If it doesn't reach because it lands somewhere over here, then grab that foot and make sure that it lands all the way towards the top of your mat. From there, bring the left heel down. Once the left heel is down, you want a straight line. From the very top of your mat, there should be a straight line from one heel to the other. And then once you notice that your heels are in a straight line, bring your right elbow onto the right knee, extended side angle pose. If it's easy for you to come into this posture, maybe you want to go ahead and reach your right hand outside of the right foot. But notice where you are today. Notice if you want to stay up high. Bringing your right elbow onto the right knee. Maybe you want to keep your left fingertips pointing directly up. Or maybe you want to start to find that extended side angle, reaching your left palm facing down overhead. Make sure that the shoulders are both away from the ears. One more nice long inhale. Notice the left foot is grounded. From there, with that left foot super grounded, start to straighten through that right leg. And triangle pose. So for your triangle pose, if you don't have that deep opening through the hips, external rotation of the hips, then let yourself come onto the right shin with your right fingertips and just reach the left arm up. We're trying to straighten out the right side of the body. So whichever hand is down, instead of rounding into the body to get down, you're trying to lengthen up the body and find a deeper external rotation of the hips. If you're nice and flexible, then maybe you can reach your fingertips down towards the mat, trying to stack the shoulders over one another. One more nice long inhale. Left hand comes down. Once the left hand comes down, allow yourself to separate your left hand from your right foot. With your left hand separated from your right foot, go ahead and bring the left knee down And then press onto the inside of the right knee. Pressing onto the inside of the right knee will allow your right foot to roll off to its outer edge. And then also trying to notice that instead of collapsing onto that left shoulder, you're trying to feel a lift through your heart space. So open up the heart. Let the heart pull you up towards the sky. One more nice long inhale. Exhale to come back to center with the right foot and going into your lizard pose. So maybe you want to keep the left knee down, but your right hand is going to be right next to the inside of your right foot. And from there, instead of rounding into your neck and dropping your head, you're sending the crown of the head all the way forward. 3 more inhales and exhales. If you can, go ahead and lift off your knee. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can come onto your forearms, but you're staying nice and straight with your spine. One more nice long inhale. Exhale. From there, slowly allowing that right foot to go all the way back behind you. So wiggle the right foot in, right hand presses down outside of the right foot. Send the right leg back behind you. Open up that right hip. Decompress that right hip. So let your right knee come up higher towards the sky. Breathe into that right hip. If you need to come onto your tippy toes because you have tighter hamstrings, then do so. And from there, if you want a 3-legged vinyasa, you can go for it, or just a regular vinyasa, or come into a down dog or child's pose. So your journey, your practice, listen to your body and what your body is craving. We'll meet on the left side, or we'll meet in downward dog. Slowly bring the left foot all the way forward. Once you bring the left foot all the way forward, you have it forward. Remember that if it doesn't reach, then keep finding your left foot wiggling until it comes all the way forward. And then from there, press your right heel down onto the mat and extended side angle pose. So notice that you want to try to first find your left elbow onto your left knee, and then try to find your right rib stacked directly over your left ribs. Inhale to reach that right arm up. Notice if you want to bring your right hand down. But try to feel your right foot grounding you down. Try to create that nice long straight line from your right fingertips all the way through your right heel. And instead of collapsing into that left hip, feel yourself lift up your right ribs over the left ribs. One more nice long inhale. Deeply exhale. Straightening the left leg for triangle pose. Noticing here that we want to find a deeper external rotation of the hips. And instead of trying to see that our hands are coming closer to the earth, I don't care so much about your hand touching the earth. What I want more than anything is to send that left hip as far back as possible, and that you're lengthening up that left side of your body. And with time, you're going to be able to stack your right ribs over your left ribs. 2 more breaths here. One more. Root down through your right foot. Open up through your heart space. Feel your right fingertips pulling you up. And slowly from there, bring the right hand down and wiggle the left foot out. Bend into that left knee. Bring the right knee down. And from there, we're going to push onto the inside of the left knee with the left palm. And notice that the left foot, the arch part, lifts up. So we're rolling onto the outside of the left foot. And lift your heart. Notice that you're not collapsing into that right shoulder or wrist. Feel a lift through your heart space. Let yourself notice that you're unlocking your right hip flexor. One more nice long inhale. Coming back to center. Wiggle that left foot in. Press your left hand outside of the left foot. Tuck your right toes under. Send the left leg back behind you. Unlock that left hip, stack it over the right hip. And then find what your body is craving. If it wants a vinyasa, inhale to a plank. You can also just do child's pose or down dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up. Exhale, downward dog. Breathing there. One more nice long inhale. Gazing forward towards the top of your mat. Step opposite foot to opposite wrist to come into a cross-legged seated position, or find yourself in jumping forward and through. So if you're going to do opposite foot to opposite wrist, come onto the left tippy toes, cross the right foot, lift up your hips. That way you can cross the other foot and find yourself in your cross-legged seated position, boat pose. So we meet our edge with grace. Let yourself notice that whenever you find that reactivity bubbling up with inside of yourself when you're in this posture, instead of allowing yourself to be taken over by your reactivity, you're going to notice, there I am. Just like throughout your day, you can notice when you're in that state of arousal, and you can let yourself ease back into a state of relaxation by just being aware of how you're breathing, allowing yourself to notice that you're trying to smile, that you're trying to find your breath starting at your heart space. So we're going to do 2 rounds of boat pose for 5 breaths, and I'm going to count slowly. So be with the breath, and know that you can go grab backs of your knees, place your hands behind your hips, fingers pointing towards your hips, or you can go ahead and reach your arms directly forward. If you want to go all the way, then straighten your legs. So noticing where you want to go, preparing, smiling. And 5 breaths. Lengthen your heart up towards the sky. 4, 3, lift your heart. Bring your chest closer to your legs. Straighten your legs if possible. 2, 1. Exhale, cross the ankles. Squeeze your legs into your chest and lift up your chest. Lengthen your spine. Round 2. Meet your edge with grace. 5, 4, 3, yes you can. 2, lift your heart. Stay. And cross the ankles, lift up the chest. Separate your ribs away from your pelvic floor. Butterfly pose. So for your butterfly pose, bringing the soles of your feet together and noticing here how it feels to start to unlock. Send the creases of your hips back. Try to massage that flesh back behind you a little bit. And then grabbing the insides of your feet like you're opening up a book, you're going to inhale and pull open your chest here for 5 breaths. So just trying to feel the energy of your hips externally rotating. 4 more breaths. 3. 2. 1. And from there, inhale, lift up your chest. Exhale, fold. Decompress your low back. Let yourself notice how wonderful it feels. Actually trying, instead of rounding into your spine to reach forward, it's up high, but try to find yourself creating space in your low back. Try to feel your lowest ribs pull as far away as possible from your pelvic floor. 2 more breaths here, trying to feel yourself peeling open the book so that your knees drop down a little bit more because you're externally rotating your hips. 1 more inhale. Slowly letting yourself come back to laying down on your back. And once you come to laying down on your back,